I'm going to share my desktop with you and walk you through the site. And our focus today is modifying resources on Curiki. For those of you who attended the last session, you'll already know a bit about Curiki. And for those of you who haven't, the goal of Curiki is to be an open source content repository and educator community. The open source idea comes from software development, where people can freely share, add, and modify and collaborate on various resources. In our case, these resources are lesson plans, student activities, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and, okay. Here we are at curiki.org. You'll find our homepage here. And any person, any individual in the world can come to Curiki and access resources. People can search, they can browse for resources, and they can take these resources, print them out, use them in their classroom, make a copy and work further to develop them into something that is tailored to the needs of their students. However, to really modify resources and get the most benefit out of the site, you'll need to become a member. Membership is free. Use of the site is free. And becoming a member, you'll go to the home page, click on the Become a Member link. And this takes a second to load because we're going to a secure portion of the site. And then you'll fill in a little bit of information. You'll create a login and a password. You'll enter your email address. You can choose to customize your profile now, or you can do it later. And then when you register, you'll confirm the account that you've created via email. And once you do that, you'll be all set. So today I'm going to log in as a member. And you'll see that it takes me to what we call My Curiki. This is just a sample profile, so this is not actually me. It's just, test data. In your My Curiki profile, you have the option to customize with a photo. You can add information about yourself. There's a space for you to put a detailed profile and biography. All of that is optional, and you can feel free to customize that as much as you'd like. So now that I'm logged in, I'm going to go back to the home page. And I have a whole array of new tools and features that are available to me. So we're going to go here, and we're going to look at a Curiki resource. And the resource we're looking at here, this is what we often call a collection. You'll see in the table of contents, there's a folder, and within the folder there's a whole lot of stuff. A collection is really just a way of bundling and organizing information. Collections can contain documents, as you'll see here. They can contain other folders, which, if I expand this, you'll see now that I have access to additional resources here. The resources can be in a number of different formats. You can have what we call here a text resource done either using wiki or HTML content. Or you can have here a downloadable file, a PDF, a Word document, a PowerPoint presentation, just about any file, zip files, archives. As well as videos, multimedia, websites, and lots of other content available to you. So now that we're looking at a collection, and I think we got a comment a second ago about annotation, and I'm not sure, let's see if I can, I'm not sure I can enable that right now, but I want to definitely make sure any questions or comments that dealt with get addressed before we finish today. So if you can hang on to that, I will get to you as soon as possible. Okay, looking at our collection, and we're looking at content, and now we want to use this resource in the classroom. And we've decided this is a great resource. It's not exactly how we teach our lesson, and it's not exactly what we want, but it's something that's going to be very helpful for us. So we can then take this resource and we can modify it. Now, this often raises a red flag with teachers. Some teachers will post content on here and say, wait, somebody can change my material. They're going to edit my work. How is that possible? How is that okay? The goal of Curiki, again, is to be open source, and we function under a Creative Commons license. A Creative Commons license gives people a way to retain some of their rights, as with a copyright, but lets them choose which ones they want to include. We're going to go here to the Information tab to look at some of these settings. And as we scroll down, you'll see some of the metadata. And here we have information about rights and access. So the license for this resource is the Curiki default license. It's a Creative Commons attributions license, meaning that anybody is free to use this resource as long as they attribute the original content back to this creator. In this case, it's a woman named Melissa Weber. There are several other Creative Commons licenses. There's attribution non-derivative, meaning people can use the work, but they can't remix and make something else new out of it. There are various licenses where the work cannot be used for any commercial purpose. And then there's also material that's in the public domain. So you'll see, if you create resources on Curiki, you'll see that you can assign one of these licenses to your content. Within this license deed, there's also, on the site, access privileges. And there are 3 kinds of access to content on Curiki. You'll see public, which this resource is. And this is the most open and sort of wiki-like setting that a user can assign to their content. Public means, as you'll see here, it's available to anybody, and any member, once they've logged in, can edit the content. So because there is a text resource, we were looking at that lesson plan directly on the site, we can go in and change that work. This is especially handy if teachers have come to the site as part of a group or working within the Curiki community to collaborate on materials. It also functions much like you'll see on Wikipedia, where people are coming together to enhance or even correct other people's material. The next level of access is protected. You'll see protected content on the site as well. A lot of that material comes from some of our partners, whether they're other nonprofit organizations or they're for-profit publishing companies who have shared some of their content with us. Protected resources are kind of like read-only, meaning they're available for anybody to use, but only that member can edit that resource. So they're not available for you to edit the original file. In that case, what you'll do is you'll make a copy, and then that copy becomes yours to change as you see fit. And we'll look at how to do that. Finally, the last level is private. Private's kind of like working in draft mode, where you've come to the site, you're creating content, and you need to go away, and it's not quite finished, so you mark it private, and nobody else has access to it until you're ready to share it. Private resources you won't be able to access. You won't see them in the search engine. Occasionally you may come across them if you're browsing or navigating, and you'll get a message saying, the resource is private, and you don't have the permission to access that content. So with a public resource, as this is, we have the ability to edit both the content or the metadata settings. The metadata settings are found here on the Information tab. It includes title, description, as well as Curiki-specific tags like subject area, educational level, and what we call here the instructional component type. And this allows users to locate content in the search engine. If they're looking specifically for lesson plans and someone tags their content with the ICT of a lesson plan, they can find it in the search. Also on this tab is a section on the revision history. And the revision